All right.
That's good.
That's good. Welcome to OnlyYuumis versus Str8th. Our casters today are going to be me, Lyrax, or Max, Heacher, and you can introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Heacher. I was on Slice Me the Deets.
And then returning caster, Optic.
Hello, I'm Hoptech. I'm on Poobie.
All right. Our teams for today are going to be. Sorry. Teams for today are going to be OnlyYuumis. So this is a really interesting team. They've actually bounced back from their kind of not great showing in the winners bracket to win a game in the losers bracket. They have a really strong bot lane. And what else? What else do we have there? Any opinions?
I think the jungler's really good too. I think he enables a lot of what happens around the map so that Wildlight can carry. But that seems to be the story for this team. It's just Wildlight kind of 1v9ing.
Yeah. And for the other team, we've got Str8th. This team has a lot of different moving parts. They've got a very strong mid-jungle duo in Nori and Night's Dawn. They've got a lot of spicy picks coming out of RL Pones and Kurian in the bot lane. And they've got what we've seen so far is basically a rock in the top lane from Dexmax. So
Yeah, definitely a very strong team. They have good players in all roles. No real weak links in this team. Definitely one of the favorites to win the tournament, but they did lose the game to Dark Crossbow's team. So we'll see how they do in this losers bracket game.
It's definitely a close series that they lost. I do think this team got kind of some criminal picks later on in the draft that were probably more valuable than a fourth, fifth pick should be.
Oh yeah, for sure. With the Dexmax fifth, who was Masters at the time, definitely a little bit of a robbery in the draft.
yep. All right, we're gonna go directly into the coin flip here. I have Luke RTG calling heads, and so Nori's team will be tails. Alright, it is heads. That means the side select goes to Luke RTG for game 1.
Yep, and we'll try to see what they want here. Might take blue side. Maybe they'll want to probably pick an ADC. There's some strong ADCs in the meta, like Zeri, and some others as well.
Yeah,
I think
it's not just ADC actually. I think there's just a lot of strong picks in general on first pick, right? You got Wukong, you got Talia, you got Zeri and Senna and Jin, you've got a whole slew of different things you can pick on one that just kind of blow the game open and force the enemy team to react appropriately.
Yep, for sure. Yep.
Yeah.
In King's Champ, I haven't seen too many like Wukong, but I don't think the champ's that hard to play. But we'll just have to see what they choose here.
Yep. It looks like Luke RTG is going to select blue side.
Yep.
And we will get into the draft shortly.
So yeah, they're gonna look to capitalize on that first pick. Make it something really strong, like a jungle or an ADC who's really, really good in the meta right now. So we'll just have to see what they do from there. We'll have to see how Str8th wants to react to those picks as well.
The one thing I'm very curious about is what will happen if Dexmax gets both his Camille and Garen banned. Obviously, Garen, he hasn't been able to touch the champion, but most of the times Camille has been left open and he's been able to play it and perform pretty well on it. And I'm curious to see what kind of things he's going to pull out if he happens to get that second champ of his banned.
Yep, for sure. I think he's really proficient on both champs as of now. He even has another account just solely dedicated to Camille, if I remember correctly. So that's definitely his two tricks. So let's see what he wants to pick. I believe the only other champion he picked besides Camille in this DMV so far is Darius. So that seems to be his third option.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll be able to see it pretty early in the draft, as I don't think Str8th is very keen on saving top lane counter pick, judging from their previous drafts.
Yep. It seems like Dieter just opts for those like tanks or like safe picks like Gnar as well. So we'll see what happens.
Draft does appear to be started here. Taking a while on the first ban. Wonder if they're
looks like they weren't quite
undecided on.
Yeah, maybe they will ban the Garen. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Debating leaving the Garen open. Oh, never mind. Massive surprise here.
Yep, definitely a massive surprise. Who would have thought they would have banned Dexmax's Garen?
In return, the Zillion ban?
Yeah, the Zillion ban coming out, taking away the Zillion from Volks.
Volks. Interesting.
Yeah. Yep, definitely very proficient on that champion.
And it's just such a menace of a champion to play.
Oh yeah,
Has
absolutely.
he played it this DMV yet? I think he's played it once, correct?
He's played it a few times.
Oh, actually a couple times now? Okay.
Yeah, yep. The Talia taken away, I believe, from Night's Dawn, or...
I believe it's a flex.
It's a flex.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Noria play too much Talia, so I didn't know.
I don't believe he's played it in DMV, but he definitely does play it.
Okay, I see.
And the respect Shen ban.
Yeah.
Taking one of Dieter's best champs.
Yep.
Especially if the plan is to take the Camille here. Shen is notoriously good matchup into it.
Yep.
As far as good things into Camille goes.
The Gwen ban is actually pretty surprising. Is this a target ban? Because I know I've never seen Dexmax play it, so...
No, but Noria has been playing a lot of Gwen recently, and he's been having a lot of success on the champion as well.
It's a very specific target ban, and they just don't like that.
Yep. And I think that Dexmax will probably opt for this Camille here, since it's open. But we'll just have to see how Dieter responds to it.
Have you seen Dieter play Camille? Oh. Wukong. It makes a lot of sense.
With the Camille, I imagine maybe some Galio, maybe a Nocturne if the Volibear doesn't get locked in. Something along those lines to go with Hextech Ultimatum.
Yeah, I'd really like to see specifically, I think Volibear, if they go with Volibear, then I like to see the Galio and just kind of make that comp work, just an engage comp.
Yeah, but I feel like that comp can get just destroyed by the Wukong if the Wukong gets really ahead. Especially since like they're a little bit lacking in damage if they go like Volibear, Galio.
Well, I mean, I guess you'd be surprised by how much damage that Volibear can output, but I could see that. They'd have to pick a strong ADC to back
the
up.
Galio definitely falls off later in the game.
Of course, yeah. So they have to pick a strong ADC to kind of follow up with the team there. Like MF could be a great choice, for example.
And there's the Camille, so let's see how Dieter wants to respond. Definitely should be thinking about taking a first phase top laner here, so he doesn't get too banned out.
If I'm OnlyYuumis, I'm prepared for the Camille pick here.
Yep, absolutely.
They are taking a while. Maybe. Ooh, denying the Galio potentially?
Luke RTG blinding the Galio.
It is also good with Wukong for the dive in with the Cyclone, followed up by Grand Entrance. Really brutal CC lock if you can get it on a carry.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And I think Galio Wukong is actually a little bit better than, at least a better mid jungle duo than Volibear Galio would be.
Yeah, Volibear Galio, they have a lot of CC, but they're both like very kiteable melee champions when he gets around too, so it could be difficult.
Yep.
And the Renekton Camille counter.
Oh, that's a spicy pick.
I have not seen Renekton in a long time.
Yep, and I have not seen Dieter play it at all this DMV.
Yeah.
Additionally, a very strong Camille counter, but I think just champion-wise, in the meta, just not as strong as Camille is.
Definitely. Still a good champion in the sense of, like, in competitive, he can always find good prio in lane and CC champions with his W for later on in the game. But.
And the Vayne for Kurian, I believe.
Yeah. Vayne for Kurians. It could be, well, it could be the Vayne and Nivea combo. They could pick that up later into the draft here, but
I would be incredibly excited if the Vayne and Nivea is actually pulled out. Just, I don't know how good it'd be, but purely from a standpoint of how fun it would be to watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they actually get that condemn into wall combo, that would be hype as hell.
We'll see what Luke wants to do here. Probably wants to ban away some of Nightstunn's comfort picks, maybe some Galio counters.
I mean, now there's no Galio. I'm still waiting for Nightstun to lock in Corki.
And
It is what it is.
Str8th bans 280Cs away from Ylag. Are
Yeah.
those good into Vayne? Ezreal and Zaya? I've no
They're
knowledge
both
of
fine.
the
I think it's just Ylag's. I think he's just his champion pool in general. I don't think they're banning specific counters.
I think also the idea might be things that can kind of get away from the volley bear and escape his Q run at them.
Right.
Or
I think they're
Camille.
just thinking about the Volibear and the Camille rather than the
Yep.
Vayne specifically.
Yep, Zaya and Ezreal definitely have some good escapes in their kit. Blitz taken away from our all opponents. So Nivea is up. Could see it locked in here. They do need a source of AP damage right now. Corki.
Corki you mentioned
The
earlier.
spicy Corki pick from Nightstun.
There's the Corki pick. Bringing it back for what, the third DMV in a row now?
Yeah. I think Corki is still pretty
The
good in
Nuggets
this meta.
Panther. Yeah,
Even though he's been hit pretty hard by nerfs.
I actually like him a lot. The
Yep.
nerfs, I don't know if they affect him too much. He still has a plethora of builds.
I meant like the package nerfs. They definitely affected him quite a lot.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But with durability patch and all, like he gets to scale a little bit more freely, gets less bullied in lane, and then he becomes a late game menace like always.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah,
like that's
the
what they're
amount of-
going for here.
The amount of damage he's going to be able to pump out late game is going to be no joke.
Yeah,
The
and
only
their
real
whole team is just
concern is...
yeah,
Ooh,
their whole team is just kind of late game scaling.
Is that a Viper support or a Galio support, actually?
Yeah, it's a flex pick actually. They don't have to show.
Looks like a flex pick, yeah.
Oh, as our opponent's Leona somehow made it all the way through to R5.
Interesting, interesting last pick.
They hold the counter pick until last pick for support. That's not that crazy. I wonder
I
how
think
Leona fares
Leona's good into
Veigar.
Galio and Veigar, right?
She's good into Galio, or she's fine into Galio. She's not great into Veigar, obviously. So I wonder if they'll actually switch the lanes. I don't know if Luke RTG plays Veigar or Galio. I don't know his champ pool.
He plays like control mage and stuff like that. I haven't really seen him play Galio too much, at least in this DMV. But we'll just have to see as I get into champ select.
Yep.
And yeah, definitely a very late game comp coming out from Str8th here. The Corki, the Vayne, the Camille. The bot and top laner are going to be pumping out a lot of true damage in that late game. And I think that Luke's team is a little bit more early game oriented with the Galio, the Renekton. But they do have some scaling with the Veigar.
I'd like to see them fight over that level 6 timing, like before Corki can get the package, but just around 6 to 8. Because that's where their team kind of really shines. Like Wukong ult, Galio ult, Kai'Sa ult are really strong in the jungle fights. So.
Yeah, so I think Luke's team is definitely going to be looking to make some early game plays happen.
Right.
Yeah, the really big important piece for this game is going to be if the lockdown can come onto the Vayne and Corki with some chain CC. If they get to free hit, I don't think there's a chance that OnlyYuumis is going to be able to win a fight with a Vayne and Corki just constantly outputting DPS. But one hit of Renekton W, Wukong ult, and I don't think Vayne and Corki are going to live.
Yeah, we'll see if they maybe like even opt for a defensive spell like Cleanse here against this like heavy CC comp. I think it'll help them survive the early game.
I'd imagine at least whoever is laning against the Veigar should take Cleanse, whether that be the Vayne or the Corki.
Yeah, and I don't think it really.
And that's Luke's
their laning.
Veigar here.
So yeah, so we want to see Corki take cleanse. I don't think it makes his laning that much worse. He could take TP instead. But
I don't think Corki really needs to take Cleanse into Veigar. He already has a bunch of range. It's quite easy for him to just like W out of cage if he gets like in range of it.
Right.
So you don't really see Corki really take cleanse into this matchup.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
Yep.
I wonder what
So,
build
yeah.
he's going to. Do you think he's going to go Poke Corki, Crit Corki, or the old like Sheen one odd?
Yeah, the traditional Corki.
Yeah.
We'll just have to see. I'm not sure what Nightstone likes playing. Some people just like the different builds on Corki. I know Derive really likes the Poke build with the Manamune and the Ludens or Leandries. But we'll see if Nightstone opts for like a Sheen build instead.
Yeah, I think I've seen the Poke build or the Muramana be in every build, not just the Poke build. I've seen the Muramana in maybe not the Crit build, but basically everything else runs it.
Yeah,
so.
right, exactly. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this Volks Galio here. Not too sure how it'll fare into the Leona Vayne bot lane. I think Vayne should.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Cassigalio is just a really one of those like really up tempo combos. You take Hex Flash on Galio and level 2 or level 3, you just try and fight them as hard as possible. Against Leona, it may not be that great, but I like to just see how the brawl ends up working out.
Yep, exactly. And these are two of the best bot lane duos, I think, across DMV. Very highly ranked. So definitely a lot of action going to be happening around this bot lane as well.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
One interesting caveat to the Vayne Galio interaction is that if Vayne does try to condemn Galio while he's holding his W on top of her, the condemn causes the W to instantly release and taunts her even as it knocks him back.
Yeah.
So that might be something to watch out for.
Yep.
I imagine it's just going to be a lot of fighting for push control, and after that, both ADCs are quite low range, so they're basically always in kill threat if jungler comes down.
Yep.
So I just like to see a lot of jungle hovering bot and a lot of warding there. I think both top laners are kind of very solid in their roles. They're not like super carry, but they're also like very good at taking pressure. So playing on top might be a bit difficult this game.
Yep. They're probably just going to be dueling it out. Not too sure. Maybe we might see a solo killer too up there. These are two aggressive champs. But mid lane is going to be more or less just a farm simulator, just scaling up, trying to hit those items to be able to one-shot people.
Yeah. So before the game starts, do you have any series predictions? I've already predicted. I was talking to Crossbow about this. I've already predicted Str8th is going to win. I'll give it a score now. I think it's going to be. I'd like to say 2-1. I'd like to see Wild team definitely put up a show. I think they have the ability to win, but I think it will be Str8th in the end. How about you guys?
Yeah, I think that Str8th definitely has a more scaling comp, and if they can get to that late game, they can definitely win. But we'll just have to see how Luke's team or OnlyYuumis can pull off this early game comp, because if they can pull it off, it's going to be very hard for Str8th to get back into the game. But as of now, I'd say that Str8th would probably take this series away, because I don't think I'm counting on how well that. I don't think they're going to be able to pull off the comp too well, especially with a Veigar mid. If they had some aggressive laner who would kind of punish the Corki a little bit more, I could see it, like the Veigar or the mid laner just moving around the map more with the Galio and making plays with the Wukong, stuff like that. But it doesn't seem like that's going to be too useful in the early game.
Let me propose a combo. So what if Veigar takes Predator, cages them, then walks into the cage and presses Anya so Galio can ult him?
That would be a pretty insane combo that I think would result in them losing a fight.
Sounds pretty stupid, yeah.
I mean,
Veigar does not want to walk into his own cage, I'll tell you that much.
Yep.
I'm also gonna predict Str8th for. I'm gonna say 2-0, just because I wanna be a bit spicy.
Say
I think
2-1.
they can do it.
3 predictions.
I think that Ylag can definitely pull something crazy. He's been the top performing ADC in this tournament so far. It's been absolutely crazy. We'll just have to see.
So it is the cleanse on Corki.
Yep, that's interesting. But I guess he just doesn't want to get locked up early game. Just survive, just to scale. But Vayne doesn't take that cleanse, which is really interesting to me. Opts for that exhaust instead.
What I'm kind of interested in is the press the attack on the Renekton. I'm wondering if he's thinking about going that Prowler's Bork build. I'm pretty sure Conqueror is almost always taken into melee matchups. So, intrigued by the PTA choice.
Yeah, I think he's just looking to take the really short trades. I don't think he wants to take a long trade into their team. Or into the Camille, rather.
A little bit of poke coming through, getting the first strike onto Corki. Small golden flux. On top of sharing the ward XP 3 ways. I don't believe you get level 2 off the first wave if you do that.
You do actually do it.
You do.
It's just 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 ways?
The limit is 3.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
It matters for, well, it doesn't matter for bot lane, I suppose, but top and mid do get level 2 faster.
Yep. That's not going to opt for this tier, so it looks like he might actually go that poke build. And,
yeah, I'd agree that the tier in the first strike suggests that it's...
And also the first strike also suggests that, because I think that I've seen traditional Corki builds go more fleet instead of first strike.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see. What do you...
I think when Corki was popular a couple months, like 6 months ago, I've seen Fleet, and I saw, well, specifically from Knight, I saw Lethal Tempo. So Knight 9.
Lethal Tempo, that's really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big fanatic of 1v9ing, but...
Yeah, I support the other runes. Not sure about Lethal Tempo, though.
It's not me, it's LPL mid laner. I don't know. Go DM him.
The bot lane for the OnlyYuumis will hit level 2 first. Not quite zoning Str8th bot lane off of XP, but zoning them off of the last hits at least.
Yep, and I'm interested as to why Luke went for this Mana Crystal early. Maybe even a tier or a Doran's Ring would have been a better starting item, but I guess once they hit the chapter first.
Zenith Blade comes out onto Y-Lag, but a big taunt coming out of Volks negates the engage. Pretty equal health trade coming onto both supports, down to half.
Yeah, I'm surprised they actually ended up being equal there. Usually... Oh, more action.
Another Zenith Blade, this time onto Volks, gonna have to blow the flash. Korean and Norre flashing onto him to follow up. Volks getting really low. Stun coming out of our opponents onto Y-Lag and blowing a cleanse. No sums anymore onto the side of Volks, but they make it out unscathed.
Yeah, really good cleanse, actually, to take that cleanse.
Yeah, and I think that's really good for the side of OnlyYuumis because they get so many sums there. Definitely, I think it's an even sum advantage. Yeah, it's even. And King still has his flash.
Yeah.
To be able to make something else happen on either bot lane. Looks like they're going to happen bot lane again.
Yeah, King coming in, but Norre smartly hiding here, expecting the counter gank. They might be dissuaded after Volks misses his combo. Maybe a dive will come out, though. We'll have to see.
Yeah, that's an unlucky taunt right there.
Diving this early is pretty difficult into someone like Galio. With all of the tower changes.
I mean, if Galio dies instantly, maybe not, but...
Right. But Kaisa especially is not someone you want to take risks with as a carry versus Vayne, especially.
That's nice. Taking a nice short trade onto Dita here, but not going to be able to get much outside of the grass proc.
Yeah, not too much value out of this PTA so far, I think. I haven't seen him land anything with it.
Yeah. I do like that Nora is focusing on the bot lane here. Just trying not to let Y-Lag get too out of control because I think he knows from previous matches that this team has had, they always play around Y-Lag. So a smart decision from him to look for this bot lane play early.
Yep. Apparently in the chat, it's being said that Vigar V2 goes Mana Crystal.
Oh.
I think it might make sense, especially into this matchup, because he's just trying to scale, and I don't think Tyrion Veigar is a great pickup, so...
Yeah, I know one of the, as a flex flash coming out of RL Pones, looking onto Volks, he does get stunned up with the Glacial Augment under him, getting really low. Vayne's Silver Bolt's doing a lot of damage, but he's gonna barely make it out. And a good trade back from Ylag, almost killing Korean on top of the minion damage. And honestly, not the best play coming out of Str8th.
Yeah, really close. They had no
I
way
think
to.
Korean was a little scared to get hit by that taunt there, so he didn't walk forward.
Yeah, they weren't able to interrupt the Galilei, and it just gets him just far enough that he ends up living that.
Yeah, but Nori continuing to punish this bot side. He's just going again.
Good Demon Blade. No summoners from Ylag to escape, but he's going for the trade onto Korean, but not quite having enough damage. Unfortunately, the kill does go over to RL Pone's Ignite, so not getting that 400 gold onto the Vayne that much would have preferred it on.
Yeah, Nori has just set up a tent in the bot lane right now. He's just... This is his third or fourth gank by now in the first, like, 6 minutes of the game.
And it feels so bad if you're Ylag here. Just unable to push up, unable to crash that wave, get that punish, get that kill, or get killed, and just... I don't know.
Yeah,
if you're planning to be the carry for this team, I would have probably hoped your jungler would be more in the bot lane.
Yep, King is not ganked once so far. Not
It's
top or mid.
It's pretty strange because don't quote me on this, but I've heard that Wukong isn't really great at clearing, so I assume since Volibear isn't that great either, he's not going to be able to like really out farm him that much. Presumably he tries to take trades in the jungle, but I think Volibear's really scary in the jungle as well. Taking one.
I know this patch. Oh, as a potential dive coming out onto the bot lane.
I don't think this is gonna work.
Yeah, there's no minions under the tower, and with just Kaisa there, they can't really push it that hard.
Yeah,
they do get a Gromp for their trouble, though.
Yeah, and Veigar just misses away for free. Nightstone up about 15 CS, or no, sorry, not 15, about 10 CS at this point. Getting that XP lead, I think, is really important on Veigar, so if these early roams don't work, it's pretty detrimental to him.
Yeah, definitely, because you're not only missing the gold, you're also missing out, or gold and XP, but you're also missing out on the stacks you could be gaining with your passive.
Exactly.
The game's playing out more or less how we expected it to be. It's just kind of going to culminate in that level 6, maybe level 8 fight around the first Drake, or second Drake rather, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
Yep, I think King has a sizable lead on Nori right now in terms of XP. And the fact that only RL Pons got the kill there, it's not the best considering how much time he invested into the bot lane. So King definitely has a little bit of a CS advantage right now, even though their bot lane should be ahead.
Yeah.
I think the big thing to watch out for is who will get their first items / mythics complete before this dragon, because if the Wukong gets a Sunderer or if the Vayne gets a Shield Bow or Kraken, I think that fight will become much more in favor of that team.
I'm not sure about the gold state here. It's still quite a far away from Wukong. Maybe a couple hundred, like 1,400, 1,500, right? And then same thing for Vayne, still 1,200 away, so we'll be pretty close. Meanwhile, mid lane, Corki, perfect CS. Not well, yeah. Close enough. It's really dropped 1 or 2, but and a blue buff on top.
Farm in there.
He's about 11 CS per minute right now.
Yeah. Nearly perfect.
Yep. Luke also is also farming really well. He did miss that wave when roaming bot lane.
Yep. I mean, as this lane continues, I think Corki gets harder and harder to deal with once he hits level 6 and starts poking.
Oh yeah, for sure. Veigar is not going to be able to breathe in this lane once Corki starts hitting those items and start getting those rockets stacked up.
Yeah.
With the blue buff, he can pretty much constantly spam his E and Q to just make sure those waves are going under the tower, not letting Veigar use his Predator.
He's even taking the Raptors. Really trying to funnel himself as much gold as possible.
A little bit of a hack here.
Yeah, DMV.
Junglers are in the bot lane. Luke RTG also coming down from mid lane. Our opponent's maybe in a sketchy spot here. He does have flash to get away if he needs it, but he's in the cage. Solar Flare comes down, hates Y-Lag, and our opponent seems to be escaping. Nore also using his ult out, and no casualties.
Yeah,
They
Luke
do get-
actually didn't have the, enough mana for that ult there to kill off all opponents, so it was really interesting there.
Just not a
He was
lot of
just able
follow
to
up in
get away.
general. Ylag didn't ult pass to finish the Leona. Luke RTG not enough
Yeah.
mana to finish it with ult, so just
He may
Not
be
looking
wrapping
good.
around looking for the dive, though.
Doesn't
They
have ult
do
anymore.
have the Galio 6 now. Korean looking for a condemn, maybe? Not
Ooh.
quite pulling the trigger on it. As a big flash E coming out of Galio into a two-man taunt. Kaisa does have the ult, is going to shoot past into Korean and get the double kill for himself. And this is exactly what you don't want happening if you're Str8th.
yeah, a
My
lot of hesitation
goodness.
there. They walked away from tower. They were like debating whether to walk away from tower or not, and then they ended up doing it just at the wrong time, just as Wukong is ready to go in. So
Yeah, big play from Volks there to get that double taunt, flashing in there to make sure it lands.
I think they would have
And that's
traded at least
big,
for one.
big. Oh no.
His package out to live.
Yeah, but that's valuable for them. If they weren't. It looks like they weren't gonna go for the drag anyway. They're just gonna trade for the Herald, but that's the Corki package down.
Yeah. And at this point in the game, I'd like to see the the Rachel just go toward the Corki, give him solo plates.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully also being able to get the first tower gold, breaking that mid tower. It does only have 2 3/4 plates left, looks like.
Yep. Well, I like picking up this Kraken here. Definitely a lot of gold ahead of Kurian at this point. It's really fat. This is really scary for a Str8th. And this is exactly, yeah, as Heater said, what you don't want to have happen.
Coming in on the flank, gonna stun up someone, hopefully, eventually. Nope. Maybe, as he flashes out. Hextech ultimatum coming in, but he just leaves, and yet again, no one's gonna die.
Yep. Oh, 1v1 here.
Wait, Korean popping the ult, going in on Y-Lag, but he doesn't have a mythic, while Y-Lag does. And Y-Lag gonna look to continue this trade, has a
Trying to
small
space
health
it with the
advantage.
tempo.
No.
Tempo?
Ooh, the Kraken Slayer proc is
Oh.
gonna finish it, but the minions maybe
The minions are
leaving him
not.
on incredibly low HP, but he does survive.
Yeah, what an outplay by Ylag there.
So close.
Nightsong coming in on the back end of this, does have flash up, just gonna delay Y-Lag's recall though.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate. Ylag now with 3 kills on this Kaisa is in a position to carry this game.
Yeah. I think Vayne is not really that competitive anymore. Needs to be just given space to farm a little bit, get her mythic before he can play this game.
He's gonna take a stun onto Volks, but he's just gonna use the Shield of Durand and walk away.
Looks like Nightstone is actually opting for this traditional Corki build. Goes with Vamp Scepter.
Yeah, looks like
Pretty
he's
sure
gonna go
that's
straight
gonna
into
build
shield
into
bow.
a shield bow. Yeah.
Speaking of builds, I'm noticing that our opponent has a Bomby Cinder on Leona. Very interesting.
Oh yeah, this
take.
is his patented build, the Sunfire Leon.
I mean, there are 3 melees and a very short range ADC on the opposing team, so I can see it.
Not be too bad. Yeah, and Dieter doesn't go for the full lethality Renekton build with the Prowlers. Just opts for the. Looks like he's just going for the Gore Drinker.
Yeah, I don't think the Prowlers would be so great into their team, I think, anyways. The big fight here.
He lands a big Everfrost, follow up from Y-Lag, gonna kill Korean almost instantly. Not gonna be able to quite finish our opponents, but still expanding that lead for the Kaisa. And it might just be that 1v9 we were saying he had the potential to do.
Yeah, really well played there by Luke.
Yeah, it's really tough, honestly, being Vayne here, not taking cleanse, because anytime you get scratched by anything, if you get put in a cage, you get hit by Galio taunt, you're just dead. There's like very little you can do.
Yeah, that's what I was interested on as to why Korean didn't opt for that cleanse, even though Corki did. Even though Corki would probably be the safer champion with his dash away, but Korean going for the exhaust is not working out for him right now.
Actually, very smart from Wildlight as well, that I guess he saw it, maybe he saw it coming, or maybe he was just scared of Leona. Either way. But ult over from Norre. Lucard, he gonna be chased down under the tower here. Should
He's
be a
very
kill from
fast.
Stun.
Oh,
my
goodness.
god. Tower damage.
My goodness. Luke manages to take a 1-for-1 in that 2v1 there. That was really good for
Dexmax
him.
throwing into trade on Dieter, pops the ignite and the Hextech ultimatum, but just walks away as he sees King coming up for follow to counter that engage. And wait, he might be in a bad spot here. No, King's just gonna go for the wave.
Yeah, Dexmax has that item advantage in the Divine Sunder. Could probably take Dieter on 1v1, but definitely not a 2v1.
Yeah, Korean and RL opponents will pick up the mid tower coming off of the back of the Herald played from earlier.
Yep, we're gonna look to see what happens in this next dragon fight because I believe that both teams want to fight for this Ocean Drag.
Yeah, and a big part of it is going to be whether or not Wylag can get a really good positioning. Maybe with the ults following up some CC, or maybe just kiting back against Nori and Dexmax and just pumping DPS.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Kurian will have enough for his mythic here. We'll just have to see when he shops here. Yep, and he does.
He does in fact.
That's good. So he'll have that for the drag.
Yeah, we've got a 700 gold lead in the mid lane, a 500 gold lead in the top lane. But on the flip side, Kaisa is 1,000 gold ahead of the Vayne here.
Oh, big flash taunt coming out of Volks, but packaged away from. Both getting a bit low on the trade back coming from the Solar Flare.
no.
Dexmax in the back line, not going to go in with the ultimatum. Big Cyclone from King. Dieter going in with a lot of follow-up damage. And here comes the ult from Kaisa coming in. Not being able to finish off anyone, but does a lot of damage. Dieter still following. But
Both carries are up. Both carries are still up. Yeah.
Korean getting chunked by the Vigard W. And I don't know if OnlyYuumis can actually do this dragon with their health bars. They're camping the bush. Nightthon's gonna check with his Q. Very safe. And I think he knows that the Kaisa was too low to solo it. Does pop the blue ward. And is threatening to do something here. RL Pones is closing in onto the dragon pit. And looks like OnlyYuumis is gonna give up priority as Dexmax actually
Wait,
TP's
Dexmax
top
CP is
lane.
top. Wait a second.
It's a very interesting TP there.
I mean,
Yeah,
So they just
and
gonna give away the
they're
drag?
gonna give it after positioning so aggressively. They're still gonna give it in the end. It's very strange.
That
a
is
big
very, very
question mark
strange.
for that TP play.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the play call was there.
Yeah, it must have been some miscommunication. Hopefully they get it straightened out, but in the end they give up the drag. Not too bad though. They end up getting a lot of gold in return.
Brutal.
Yeah, Kurian with some really good kiting there in that fight away from the Wukong ulti, which was really huge in that fight. Definitely allowed them to take that 3-for-3. But other than that, he got pretty fed in that fight as well. He picked up 2 kills of himself, and he's gonna go for that Rage Blade now.
Usually, though, all of the shutdowns that were available before that fight even started are still available. Coming
nice.
from the Kaisa Vayne, or I guess Vayne didn't have a shutdown, but mostly the Kaisa and Corki.
I just want to know what OnlyYuumis is gonna do to up the tempo in this game. They got the second Drake, which is really good. The third Drake rather, so they can threaten the Dragon win con, Soul win con. But if they don't play faster, then Vayne and Corki are gonna become really, really hard to deal with.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, they're gonna have to try to make some plays. As Justice Punch gets used but doesn't find anything. Oh, Dexmax hookshotting in, using the Hextech ultimatum and ignite. Divine Sunder Q is going to deal a lot of damage, but not quite enough.
Yeah. Pull in from Camille ends with nothing. Renekton has TP advantage because he didn't TP to the wave in the first place, so just take a reset, TP back. Not a big deal.
Could look for this Herald right now. Oh, it's not Herald anymore. It's actually Baron in 10 seconds, so never mind.
He's actually opting to stay. They're looking to dive him, maybe.
Yep, Galio answering. Kai'Sa also
Hex
answering.
Flash. Our opponent
no.
is gonna get the stun onto Volk. He does have an angle to use the Justice Punch away, but on the flank, Korean gets taken down by Ylag and King. Our opponent's also gonna get taken down, and Volk somehow is still alive. Luke RTG hitting a big stun on the backline onto Nightstone, but doesn't have the damage to finish him off as Ylag also just melts through Nore.
Man, that was a very, very bad macro play from Str8th. Wukong and Kaisa just moving up behind them, and they're just focusing off the Galio, and all their whole combo just goes onto the Galio, who just doesn't even die. And then Kaisa's just free hitting from the backside with the Wukong ulti.
Yeah.
Really, really unlucky.
Nice
there.
Baron call.
Coming out of Nightstone, though.
Nice
kill
Dawn.
beater. Also, King seems to be soon to follow.
Oh.
Not quite able to finish him off. The Divine Thunder healing keeps him alive. Ylag also incredibly low, barely dodges away from the rocket. Volks also barely misses his taunt. Gonna hit Nightstone with an auto and a Q, but it does not finish him. Dexmax coming in, Precision Protocol speeding him up, using the Hextech Ultimatum to trap Volks. Divine Thunder damage coming through, and Volks is going to fall here, trying to trade onto Nightstone, but his Q has no points into it, and it's just not going to even do any damage to Nightstone.
Oh my god.
A
Amazing
great play
from
from
Nightstone.
Nightstone.
Holy shit.
Pretty much saved them the Baron play from there. They were definitely going to look to take Baron, but Nightstone with the big damage from the backside.
Now maybe Str8th is looking for a Baron of their own, but calls it off relatively quickly, deciding picking up waves and recalling will be a better option.
Yeah. And Nightstone just accruing more and more gold. 4-0-2 with, what, 9.5 CS per minute? Actually a bit more than that, 9.7?
Yeah, a pretty impressive amount, and closing in on 3 items already.
Yeah, once he hits that IE, he's gonna be a really, like IE in level 16. He's gonna be chunking everyone really hard.
Yep, and I believe he'll have this cat package for the next Drake as well, so he's going to be an absolute force to be reckoned with for OnlyYuumis.
Was used in the bot lane, but it doesn't seem to be worth much. Dexmax and Dita doing some more trades. Dexmax coming out on top with the Divine Thunder damage and healing.
So I don't think Renekton wins this matchup at all anymore, right?
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah, it's
I'd imagine if you went Bork or something, there'd be at least some chance, but don't think that's sufficient here for their circumstances. So
I guess the fear there is that it's just going to be so brutal to play team fights.
Yeah. I mean, the longer this goes on the side lane, the worse it gets, so they have to do something quick. This is kind of what we feared in the...
Pop Predator, but they aren't able to use those movement speed abilities to get any picks, and it's looking scary. Dragon not even started, and now Str8th is coming in with Dexmax's teleport, package into the back, hitting Ylag, King diving in onto Korean, knocking him up. Ylag just going down to Nightstone and only a few autos. King gonna get stunned up in the backline by Nore and taken down. Dexmax also big damage coming in, finishing off Peter on his own, and a pretty clean ace coming out of Str8th. They're gonna be able to get Dragon, and looking like they're going for Baron as well.
A huge package from Nightstone, killing off Ylag solo. He had no help. Volks was just on Korean, I believe, and he was just picked off on the side, and at that point, I think a lot of their damage is just gone.
Yeah, the package sectioned off the fight. Like, Vire couldn't cross the package. The package went directly onto Kaisa. Kaisa couldn't 1v1 the extremely, at this point, fed Corki. And 2 carries down, not in the fight. Their 3 frontliners can't make up for the DPS loss. So
this Corki looking unstoppable right now.
Yeah, 5 kills, 6 assists, 10 CS per minute. Definitely has 3 items when he's basing here. On his way, probably halfway to his 4th.
Quite literally 3,000 gold ahead of everyone in the game.
Yeah, that is insane right now. Nightstone looking crazy on this Corki.
Oh, reset the Raptor depression.
Yeah.
Nightstone's still farming with the Baron buff though.
Yeah, I'm not sure what OnlyYuumis wants to do in this position. Probably just want a turtle as of now, as Dexmax looking to fight again.
Yeah, especially while the Baron is up for Str8th. maybe they can make some sort of play with the Galio Chem Tank or Vigar Predator, but it's so scary with how much vision control that Str8th is getting here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Vayne is doing up top bush, but I think that they should be just 4-1ing with Camille top lane because she can just kill the Renekton under tower. I think at this point, but it looks like they're kind of split. Really
But
sure.
OnlyYuumis is kind of just as split, honestly. They're not responding to the top wave. They're not farming really anywhere.
Yeah, they're just giving like a lot more respect than maybe they should because I think their only way back into this game is trying to find picks. So
As Dieter seems to be getting picked off, unfortunately, and he didn't really stand a chance. Had the flash, but couldn't use it against the Hextech Ultimatum.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're gonna siege against this Corki poke right now either.
yeah,
That Corki is humongous.
Wylag is
any
doing
rockets yet.
absolutely no damage to our opponents. Oh, a big stun coming out of Dexmax, but the invisibility prevents any follow-up. Doesn't even get the auto off with the precision protocol.
Yep, looks like they're just gonna opt to take this top tower and this top inhib.
Yeah, and
Probably
there's
rotate mid off here.
There's just not enough
looks like
wave
a fight.
clear as Evoke starts the fight off with a taunt. They one-shot Nore, but King is getting traded back on as our opponents dives deep. Kurian free-firing, going in onto the back line, but doesn't pick up much as Nightstone finishes off Dieter in his
Yeah, at
own
this point,
back
Nora
line.
just exists to protect his backline, and if his backline's alive, then they're just chilling.
Yeah, and I mean, it looked good for a moment, but then, oh, stun coming out onto
Wylag is
Wylag,
the
and
carry.
he just gets one. Oh, wait. That was
If
not
he's dead,
Wylag.
is that
Blue
game?
RTC.
It's probably
Well, it's two
Not
two
game?
towers, but is it game?
Yeah, I
but
don't
it's
Does he
up in
respect the
9
respawn?
seconds.
Okay,
Yeah,
he
I
respects
think he's
the
gonna
respawn.
respect it. Yep.
Coming out.
Hex flash bug. Oh, looks like support had the hex flash bug.
And
Yeah, and that fight looked good
Go
for
ahead.
a moment. That fight looked good for a moment for the side of OnlyYuumis, but then you realize how much they actually used on just Nore, and I mean, without your abilities to deal damage to the carries, it just got out of control with how much damage they were dealing.
Yeah, but Dieter tried to get it back on Nightstone, but Nightstone just had that cleanse and pretty much all his sums and was just able to hop away and just kill him.
Yeah. Actually, can't replay the fight at this point, but Kurian's wasn't even hitting anyone at the beginning of the fight. It was just targeting the tower. Spent maybe 4 to 5 autos, maybe 6 autos actually, just hitting tower, not anyone else, and they still won that fight. So, just goes to show like how strong this late game comp is getting.
Yep. Yeah, and this is definitely exactly where the OnlyYuumis does not want to be because they have a totally early game comp with the Renekton, with the Galio early.
Yeah.
And they just cannot deal with this Corki. I think you should press backspace. Hopefully that fixes it.
Hopefully it fixes it. Yeah,
Yep, there we go. Yeah, I don't know how anyone's gonna stop this Corki at this point. He's gonna pick up this IE, I believe.
Yeah,
On
he has
his reset.
4K in the bank. He's gonna get an IE
Yeah.
and a Zeal probably on the back here.
Yeah,
so
he's gonna start one-shotting pretty much everyone on the side of OnlyYuumis. And they don't really have any MR either.
yeah.
I
Actually-
think OnlyYuumis just has to do something while Nightstone's cleanse and flash are down. I think it's their last chance.
Yeah, would you like to see a RFC or would you like to see like a Void Staff? What would his last? Oh well, it looks like it's gonna be RFC, but
Yep, looks like an RFC here. Just gonna opt for more crit and the passive of RFC instead of the Void Staff. And I don't think he really needs the Void Staff either because it doesn't even look like OnlyYuumis wants to build MR, even though Corki is the biggest threat that they have to deal with.
yeah,
And even
very weird
Vayne,
decision.
yeah, Vayne does true damage. Camille does true damage. I'm not sure how much armor is going to help them at this point.
Corki has the package for this dragon fight. I don't know if they can take this fight without finding a pick beforehand, but they just don't have the setup necessary for it because Renekton has to put in the base.
And this Corki has a package. He's going to be an absolute threat.
Big stun coming out from our opponents onto Wylag, blowing his cleanse. Cage comes out, but isn't going to be able to do much as there's no follow-up. And full control of the Dragon Pit area is going over to Str8th. It's going to be their sole point if they can secure this.
Yep, OnlyYuumis is just opting not to take that fight. Probably going to take the Baron fight, because if they
Dexmax
don't
actually
take that
needs
fight, they're going to
to
lose the
touch
game.
A missed hook shot coming out of Camille there would have probably killed the Kai'Sa instantly and won the game, but
Yep, opting for the smarter play just to go for...
just do Baron, take it slow.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if I,
Call, make sure, they're not making any unnecessary errors and somehow throwing
Yeah,
this.
I think that while Str8th was taking the dragon, they should have just made that decision immediately and gotten vision on that top side of the map before they get the Baron. Because it looks like they want to start it up immediately, but they're kind of busy clearing vision and making sure nobody's coming from flank areas.
yeah. Well, Nison is full build, doesn't have pot, but otherwise full build, so they really need to be able to eliminate him now, like here and now. And he has
He has
cleanse
his
up too.
cleanse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a real problem to deal with him. 2 minutes damage from the rockets, but he is going that crit build, so those autos are going to do a million damage.
Uncharged, not a big one, like a normal rocket still does 400, 500 damage to a pretty tanky, Rhinectin, so
Right, yeah.
still not negligible.
And OnlyYuumis is just so much further down in gold that they just have to seed the Baron prio. And I don't think they can walk in with the Corky poke.
Oh my
Luke
god.
RTG is popping Predator.
Oh, no.
Big stun into Hextech Ultimatum coming out of Dexmax, pretty much one-shotting Ylag as Nori comes in to Goomba Stomp him. Wukong also going to fall shortly after. Dita's the next to go. And Luke RTG is the only member of his team to survive. Gonna be taken very low, but the rest of Str8th is just gonna be running down mid, going for the end.
Yep. And this looks like game one going to Str8th on the back of Nightstone. An absolute stellar performance from him on this Corky.
Nightstone, 0 deaths, 11 kills, 8 assists, over 10 CS a minute. Luke RTG gets stunned up and getting an actual trade back kill, but is going to get taken down by the flash from Nore. And Nightstone just 12-0-8 with over 10 CS a minute, 42 vision score too. Absolute 1v9 performance.
Yep.
Yeah. Consistently, like 10, 9, 11 CS per minute in the early game. Nori giving out over the camps as well. I'm not sure if he needed to do that, but just accelerating the Corky even more, and ends up being the difference.
Yep. Yeah, the early game was a little rocky for Nori's team, even though he was like spam ganking bot. Ylag still managed to pull out of that lane with like a sizable gold advantage, but it just wasn't enough as Corky got so big with that CS lead and that XP lead, and he started just like melting the team, looking for those smart plays, smart flanks, and just honestly did it all by himself, I must say. Like that Baron fight, he kind of just 1v9 there as his whole team died to stop the Baron, and just got out of control at that point.
Yeah, that was kind of their one way back into that game.
Yep, let's see what happens this game. Nori says he takes red.
Yeah, going back to the side that they won on makes pretty much perfect sense to me. I wonder what draft adaptations will come out from OnlyYuumis this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not up to Nori to make the side, but I guess Luke's team decided to take blue again because they feel it's their stronger side.
No, it is actually Nori's choice.
It's winner.
It's not winner. It's just the other person, the other team. There's no like winners, losers chooses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was the loser chooses the side for the next game.
No, it's just the other team. Whoever lost the coin flip the first time.
I see. Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So hopefully we see some draft adaptations. I don't know if they had a great answer to Corky. I mean, he saw the Galio, he immediately responded with the Corky, and then after that, they picked Vigar into it. Didn't look like a great answer, I'll be honest. Couldn't pressure the Corky at all, and they just sat there and scaled up, so...
That's what it seemed like to me. Yeah, they couldn't stop the Corki at all. They couldn't even get their CC locked up onto him.
Yeah, I mean
A few
they couldn't
times-
even reduce him below 10 CS per minute. That's how bad it got. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
A few times King was able to get on him, but he was just not doing enough damage.
Yeah.
And I
Wukong
believe
not.
they actually got counterpick against the Corki too,
Yeah, with
picking
the
the
Vigar
Vicar
pick.
into it.
Yeah, they had the Galio on 3, Corki picked on 3 for the red team, and then on the other side they counterpicked it with the Vigar on 5. And even then,
Yeah.
no
Yeah, I
results.
was hoping to see maybe a little bit more aggressive lane from Luke with another pick, because he can just, like I said before the game, he should be able to start making those early plays and roaming around the map, and like making sure that Corki like kind of just has to sit mid while he roams. But
Yeah.
it looks like he didn't get that far with the Vigar there. Like he roamed down a few times, but it didn't quite work out for them. That early bot dive didn't work out, and then he didn't have mana for the second time. So honestly, pretty unlucky.
Yeah, their mid jungle just not pressuring Corki, but also not making it kind of enough prio to kind of put the game to that state where they really wanted it, where they can force that level 6, maybe like level 8 team fighter on Dragon, and then rinse and repeat that with every objective until they can snowball enough gold to overcome their kind of scaling disadvantage.
Yep.
We are into draft here, I believe.
Surprisingly enough, I think the Renekton pick also didn't really do farewell into the Camille. Like it's good until first item, and then after that it just falls off. So he couldn't do anything early on, and then just got smashed later on. So
Looks like we aren't going to see Garen for another series yet again. Maybe someday, DexMax, but not looking like today. And let's take it away again. And they banned the Corki. Respect to Night's Dawn. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Very
So
similar
they banned,
bands coming out of Str8th though.
very similar. It's just that they banned the Corki instead. Taking away the Zillion again from Volks. 2 support bans, which is interesting.
They banned both Senna and Zillion last time in a different order. I forget what the third ban from Str8th was. So
Yeah, I can't remember right now either. I think it was the Shen.
it was Shen.
yeah.
Yeah, it was Shen.
Yeah.
And Shen is pretty good into Camille, so I can imagine they would do the same thing here.
Yep. And OnlyYuumis bans Wukong, so maybe they're opting for another first pick here instead of the Wukong, and they don't want Nori to pick it either, so they just decide to ban it.
It is the Shen ban coming out in a different
Str8th
order.
does ban that Shen.
Yeah, so I can only wonder what they would pick here on 1. They must have some sort of
Yeah,
plan.
it doesn't
for
seem
Wukong.
like it's going to be a jungler. Might be an ADC.
Yeah, it could be Jhin or Zeri. I don't know if I like plays Zeri, but I know he plays Jhin. Could be a really strong pick here on 1. Really topping the tier list right now.
Yeah, Jhin and Zeri are definitely 2 of the most premier ADCs on this pack. Zeri with a huge buff to her W, even after the hotfix, is brutal to play against.
Karma.
Yeah, so they end up first picking Karma. I don't know if it's a flex pick. Does Luke play it? I'm not sure.
I think Luke plays it. I think Volks also plays it, so it definitely looks like a flex pick. I think Luke played it this DMV, I believe last match they actually played it. So yeah.
And a spicy Blitzcrank cover, but it's just gonna be the Volibear, actually looks like.
Yeah. I'd actually like to see Blitzcrank on 3 if they do go with kind of a Karma Jhin type lane here. So
Yeah.
Moral
Arl
Pones
Pones
has
is
really
a menace on the Blitz.
has really been carrying his team on Blitzcrank.
Nori seeming pretty comfortable on this Volibear, so picking it again, and DexMax obviously picking the Camille.
Will they run the Renekton as the counter again, or will they change it up to something else? What do you guys think?
I don't know. It didn't seem like Renekton worked out that well, especially early game. And then late game, he just couldn't deal with her at all. So, not sure if he wants to pick the Renekton again.
RTG's team really taking the time with their picks. Gragas probably coming into the top lane. I'm a big Gragas connoisseur myself. The interesting thing about this matchup is that Gragas can actually escape the Hextech ultimatum pretty easily by just using his explosive cast to push Camille out. And if Str8th wanted to go for something like a Galio or Nocturne, he's one of the very few champions who can actually get away from that combo.
Yep, I do like the pick here. I think it's solid. It's pretty good this patch as well. Got buffed. Hopefully it goes AP and not tank, so we can start seeing some damage.
Yeah, the AP scalings got buffed and the E cooldown got reduced at early levels. The big thing though is that Everfrost actually got a pretty sizable nerf, which was pretty much the only thing that AP Gragas top was building.
Oh yeah.
I have seen and played a little bit of a like off tank demonic build that feels pretty good, and also just like Leandry's.
Gotcha. Our opponent's picking up this blitz though. We'll see who he wants to do on it.
Yeah, I very much like the blitz, especially with the Gragas Zaya locks in, because I mean Luke RTG has a comp that's just incredibly difficult to engage on without getting CC'd and peeled back and actually killing them. So having something like Blitzcrank that allows you to take them to you is a good way to deal with it.
Yep.
With Greg's top, could you see like a chem tank build? I'm not sure what the depth.
Yeah, all three of the tank mythics work pretty well on him. So
Yeah,
a lot of
that debuffs
times
debuff.
it's one of those into either pure tank, or I've seen this patch with demonic and Trimble Winter, or
Yeah.
even like a cosmic drive.
And it really is just like such a kind of better commit can take it to Camille. He doesn't lose at any stage of the lane or of the game realistically, so
It gets a little rough when Camille gets Divine Sunderer.
well, I presume as
But
long as you're playing it respectfully, it's ultra out of the ult,
yeah,
you're out of the E.
it's just specifically the Divine Sunderer spike can get rough.
Yep. We see this Jhin hover for Carrion into the Zaya. How's the Jhin blitz? I've actually never seen that combo recently.
Well, Jhin is a really high pro pick right now. Carl Bones' blitz is also really good. Combo itself is not the best because if Jhin is caught kind of on the wrong timing with his reload, then the Blitzcrank hook won't have to follow up to kill. But later on in the game, it's a really good combo to just set up picks because Jhin can open with his ult and then Blitzcrank. While they're forced to maybe block for each other or get slowed, then Blitzcrank can look for a hook. In lane, it's kind of whatever. It's kind of okay.
I see a Victor mid, so it's going to be a Karma support.
And even more of this kind of just standard safe style comp from OnlyYuumis. I'd
Yep.
be very surprised if the Gwen gets locked in. That just feels like too much AP to me.
Yep, definitely. That's like 4 AP champs on the side of Luke RTG. Doesn't seem optimal. I'm not sure what else
It
King
does
has to
actually
play.
get locked in though.
Wow, that is very interesting. Let's see what Nightstone wants to pick here against this Victor. A Kassadin. Kassadin hover.
I mean,
Wow.
it makes sense. There's 4
That
AP.
is spicy. Nightstone pulling out the big guns. Yeah, it is 4 AP, but Kassadin's passive got a little nerf recently, where it went from 15% reduced magic damage to 10%. And honestly, most mages, just like control mages, don't really have that much trouble dealing with him, especially early, because Victor can just bully him with his range, and Kassadin can't really do anything about it. So he just has to sit and scale. But other than that, yeah, he just gets to build MR. Everyone on their team gets to stack MR against this team because it's pretty much only YLag going to be doing AD damage. But that might be a good thing because YLag is, like we said before, the carry on this team. They probably just want to pick 4 AP champs and 1 AD champs to enable them to just be dealing the only AD damage on the team.
That is true. A lack of armor from the side of Str8th might lead to YLag being even more able to 1v9.
Yep, for sure. How do you think this game will go, judging from the draft?
I mean, personally, I think it'll be just so hard to deal with this Kassadin, especially because the only really like a hard winning lane is that mid lane with Victor into Kassadin, early game at least,
Yeah.
which doesn't lead to much opportunity to get ahead.
Yeah, but if they can shut down this Kassadin, I think that Luke's team can be in a good position. Again, it looks like it's going to be a scaling comp from Str8th, as it gets Knights on Kassadin to scale. But we'll see if OnlyYuumis can do anything in this early game once again. Oh wait, no. King picks up the Gwen, right? So might also be a double scale because Gwen takes a while to scale as well.
Yeah, I mean they have Victor, Gwen, and Zaya, all three of which are pretty good scaling. On the other side, you have Jin, Camille, and Gaston, also really like, pretty good scaling. They could play for the scale game. It's not that bad. But,
yeah. Interesting. So Luke should be winning this lane early. Might enable Gwen to be able to not really make something happen on the map, maybe invade a few times. Because Volley is I don't know who clears better. Is it Volley or Gwen?
Gwen's definitely better. Volley's
Yeah.
the
So
greatest player ever.
So while Wally ganks maybe a few times, Gwen just might look to invade early and just kind of scale.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine Caston at level 6 probably starts getting kill pressure on Victor. I can't imagine Victor bullying that hard post 6, but...
It's not that bad. Even
Really?
at 6, like, Caston is not really that strong. Like, Victor can still poke him out and stuff.
I see.
Caston really needs to, like, hit level 13 or, like, level 11 to really start dealing out some damage.
Alright, looks like we're into the pick now. Alright. Yeah.
Jason the Other says Volley clears faster, I think, than Gwen.
Really? First
rotation.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first rotation I could definitely see it.
I can imagine that, yeah.
Once Gwen gets a little bit of items and that level 5, she's gonna start out clearing him for sure though.
Gotcha.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. So, I mean, I imagine Volibear just takes the first crab and then tries to look for a gank, and then from then on out,
Gwen might be able to do something early with the mid game or the mid lane pressure coming out from Luke, because this Kassadin, I feel like, just won't be able to do anything early in terms of roams or fighting 2v2s. Not really sure. Guess we'll just have to see what King wants to do with his on this Gwen.
Actually, I don't know how bad the matchup is for Kassadin. I mean, I've heard some things like, good Kassadins can turn ranged AP matchups, even if you're kind of bullying him. He just gives you back or use you back a lot. But
yep, we'll see what happens. Most Kassadins just opt to go Emax because of its AoE damage. Does a lot of damage, and don't go Q. So the Q actually doesn't do that much damage until you start to max it second.
I see.
So yeah, he'll kill you, but it won't really do that much. It's not really scary. It doesn't even come close to Victor Q pick.
Right,
as
of
he's
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think this game is gonna just be another Volibear Gwen just playing around bot side. Well, mostly Volibear Gwen might opt to clear more, but just play around bot side, get bot side ahead, and the other two lanes are just left to scale.
Yep. Yeah, and if this Kassadin can start to scale up and get a lot of farm, he's going to be really, really scary for OnlyYuumis. So they definitely have to shut him down.
They don't have the greatest options to shut him down. I mean, they've got Gwen, who is still going to be even for Kassadin, probably is difficult to deal with in melee range. But otherwise, like Victor, and Gragas, and Karma.
Zaya is a pretty good ADC for dealing with it. He does have the ability to ult as he gets dove in on, and then pull the E back onto the Kassadin and hopefully one-shot him while he CC'd.
Yeah, that is true.
Then again, OnlyYuumis is actually kind of lacking a little bit in CC. Like, I guess there's the gravity field, and Gragas has big CC, but other than that, there's no like reliable way to hit anything.
I mean, nothing like super great on lockdown, but they have enough disengaged type of CC between the Xayah
Yeah,
E
yeah,
and the
I guess you're
Gragas
right with the Xayah.
knockbacks and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
yeah. I guess that
but
is better for like getting away from Camille and Oliver and
right,
Kassadin.
right. Yeah, I mean, I think Camille will have a much harder time looking for picks in these team fights than the previous game. Like against Gragas, she suffers a lot. Against Xayah, she suffers a lot. Against Gwen, especially, like you dive the Gwen, you just get killed. So
Yeah. I wonder if Gwen is still good though, because she got a pretty hard nerf this patch. I believe with her E and also her W resistances,
right.
especially early game. So we'll just have to see. I think this is the first time we see Gwen on this patch. I might be wrong.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if either jungler played it because I haven't seen it top at all. But I don't know if either jungler played it in the last losers bracket final that we played, and it wasn't in our game either. So yeah, we'll just see how strong it is here.
I mean, this is also, I think, the first Jin pick of the tournament that I've seen, so there's a lot of new stuff
really?
going on. Well, yeah.
Interesting.
No, I mean, well, no, there was Jin picks before. It was just you built lethality and didn't do anything. Well, I don't want to say anything, but I'm assuming, I'm pretty sure that Jin is just gonna go Gale Force into crit and kind of a standard build from there. I think Xayah will probably end up into doing the same thing. I could see lethality Xayah. Might be better into the bot lane as matchup wise.
Yeah.
The late game is gonna fall off.
Yeah. So let's see what Nori wants to do in this early game because he's probably gonna be the one to be making plays. As Gwen doesn't really have a great early game gank setup, especially with Karma Xayah. It's not really that great. So let's see if he wants to do the same thing again. Just shut down YLAG, make sure you can't play the game, and hopefully Curran can come out on top.
Yeah. What mythic do you want to see on Caston here? Everfrost got nerfed, but that was the go-to choice.
I think
Luden's
Everfrost is
not
probably
that
still the
great.
go-to just for the utility,
Right.
and also because it's so cheap.
Right.
And I haven't really seen anything else on Kassadin really. Like I see Crown sometimes.
Crown got
but,
buffed. You could still go Crown maybe.
Yeah, but honestly, there isn't really that much pick potential on the side of OnlyYuumis, so I don't really know why Kassadin would go Crown in this matchup. At least he opts for this Ignite, which is really, really aggressive, especially in a lane bully lane like Victor. Really, really interesting. See here. Let's see if he even doesn't even start Doran's shield. Maybe he goes for the Dark Seal instead.
No, Dorn Shield.
Doran Shield, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think if he opts for that Ignite, he should go Doran Shield because he doesn't want to take up too much damage in this early game. And they're just looking for a invade here, it looks like, with his Blitzcrank.
And Lucar TG is a bit late to get on the map. Might actually get caught
Oh!
lacking. Misses, though. Even coming through with a flash.
Yeah, Luke doesn't even have to flash. Pretty detrimental. Oh, and the Spell Thief's coming out from Karma.
Oh, they share the ward XP 4 ways. That's unlucky.
Not looking good.
Yeah.
For a Str8th. Yeah, and our opponent just says FF. Looks like their mental's already boomed. Looking like a 1-1. Let's just go to game 3 at this point.
Yeah, so admins,
Yeah, I'm down on front.
what's the ruling on that? Can we FF this one?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they can go on.
It's a remake, right? Like our opponent's just locked in Hex Flash at the beginning of the game. He took the wrong summoner, so you should remake the game
Yeah,
real quick.
no, it's honestly, I wouldn't want to play this game out. But in all seriousness, might look for a late invade with this Blitz. No, it doesn't seem like it. Nori's at the top side, and I actually didn't see him there. But Blitz was just hovering.
As well.
Yeah, Blitz was just hovering on that red. Has a ward there. See where King is pathing. Looks like opts for that blue side start. So both top side starts. Gonna look for bot lane plays. It looks like. Yep, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Both sides leash. Well, one side fake leashes, but there is a ward on Nori's red, which he didn't clear out. So they know that he's there. They know that he took that red buff, especially with a not so great leash and Q start on Volibear. So he's going to be definitely slower. So even though I guess we've been told that Volibear's faster on his first rotation, he's definitely be behind on this one. So
Yep, and we see this mana crystal again on Luke for this Victor this time.
Yeah, I
Derive
don't
did tell
like
me.
it nearly as much this time.
Yeah.
And I know
don't
the
either.
tech is that you get an early lost chapter, especially if you take Futures Market, but you're just giving a lot of wiggle room to this Kassadin.
Yeah, I'm really not sure why Luke opts for this mana crystal here. He wants to be bullying this Kassadin hard. I would assume he would take like Corrupting Pot for that early game damage or that Doran's Ring for those just stats, just raw stats. But he goes for this mana crystal, which is really interesting. Drive did mention that Vagar V2 goes mana crystal on Vagar, but that is definitely more of a scaling pick. Doesn't really lane bully nearly as much as Victor does. So really interesting pickup here.
He gets the cannon too. Yeah, Dexmax playing this matchup top pretty well too. Dieter using his E aggressively, and then Dexmax knows that cooldown's down, goes for the trade back.
Oh, good trades.
Dieter just really putting the pressure onto Camille here. Big. Oh, he fails the E and hits the minion, and
Has
he's
to
gonna have to blow
flash.
flash for it.
Dexmax takes the tower shot.
As somehow Nightstone is actually up CS in the mid lane.
Yeah, this should really not be happening. This is a cause for concern. Looks like Cassin is just going to be able to get out of this early lane free.
I'm going to check runes. Does this guy have Scorch? Oh, there it is. Yeah, he even took the Scorch to try and bully him harder, not working out. When Futures Market
Cassin opt for second wind in this matchup?
Nope.
No, he goes
full greed. Full greed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not sure what King wants to do in this.
Not a great job of punishing them. Really tough.
Yeah, Luke is on 10 CS actually, which is very concerning. Does have a wave to farm though, but
fight in the bot lane.
Big knockup coming out onto Ylag. Ignite comes down. I think it was after the heal, but a big follow-up hook. Korean fourth shots Karma though, not expecting the hook. Nightstone gonna get engaged on in the mid lane and taken down as Ylag also finishes off Korean. Korean both sums up still.
Yeah,
I think very interesting.
I think he stood in front of the feathers. You can go back just 10 seconds on this one. I think he just stood in front of the feathers and got hit by it. Yep, there it is.
Oh, he just did not expect the damage up from Ylag. And Nightstone also has both his thumbs up, but I guess he just didn't feel like flashing away from King. Didn't think it was worth it.
Yeah, and a big early game advantage this time going over to OnlyYuumis. Let's see what they can do with it.
Yep, and this is what I like to see from their team. Definitely one of those more early game. This is what they couldn't accomplish last game, where they didn't really have that much early game pressure like this. But now they're 1K up, so let's see if they can start to snowball this lead.
Yeah, I think Kelvin, Nizon's still even on gold in the mid lane, even with that death. And because the jungler
is up 11 CS. He is up CS. Yeah. Definitely concerning.
He's holding onto the sums for that kill pressure at 6, maybe, looking for a solo kill.
Yeah. And once Kassadin hits 6, Victor, I don't think Victor is going to be able to kill him at all.
Yep. Even if Gwen shows up, it's probably still difficult.
Yeah. He kind of just R's away. And he still has that flash anyway.
Nightstone gonna actually get stunned up by the gravity field. Blows flash. Is gonna get out. King getting stunned by Nore, but Nore has no follow-up. Oh, Poke actually hits the hook and into tower range, and Nightstone picks up the kill. That's not who you want to get the kill if you're OnlyYuumis.
Yeah, that is a good pull from our opponents. Good roam there. Volks did follow, tries to stop the Blitzcrank, but he kind of just runs through her.
Oh, and does a good hook from RO Pons. Volks still does have flash, it blows it. Nore not going to be able to reach him for the stun. RO Pons getting actually chased down with some ranged abilities, but his passive makes sure he gets it out alive.
Yeah. Korean getting pushed onto the Zarya is kind of worrying. I guess she's down some, so she's trying to respect that, but...
Small trades in the top side, but the fact that both of their stuns do get to go off at the same time means not really much comes of it. dragon setup coming out for OnlyYuumis, even on the back of the losing mid play.
Does Gragas
Impressive.
usually opt for this tier early in the game?
Tier is usually a tank Gragas thing, as you're not going to get the lost chapter, but some AP Gragas opt for it.
I can't imagine Leandri's can be that bad. I suppose Leandri's with the tank
Yeah.
tier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly,
no, but
I'd probably, even if it got nerfed, opt for the Everfrost this game. It's just really, really nice against Camille. Also really nice against Cassidon and Volibear.
Casting for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, if you can lock down the Cassidon, it's really good.
Cassidon just gaining more and more gold though, even with that early death.
Yeah, 7 out of 16. Our opponent almost hits the blind predict hook following Dieter's body slam over the wall, but doesn't quite land. Str8th is going for this Rift Herald. 4v4 in the top lane. All ults available. As maybe it's just being given over. No, Str8th does want to fight it. Standoff here. Not sure who's going to pull the trigger first. Big hook from our opponent. Dieter gonna get one shot almost instantly. Nightstone picks up the last hit on that kill. King going in with his ultimate, but gets one shot before he can finish Nore. Rift Herald almost about to reset and does actually lose patience. Does go back to full health, but Str8th getting even more of a lead onto Nightstone.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not looking good for OnlyYuumis. This Cassidon is going to be huge.
Really good macro here. Both supports go up to the top lane at 8 minutes to fight over that first Rift Herald, and huge swing here, actually, especially if they give it to one of the carries. I don't know if Gold on Camille will actually switch this matchup significantly, so.
Yeah, and I think it's still definitely very winnable for OnlyYuumis. Cassidon is shut downable, especially with Gragas hopefully building Everfrost and having a gravity field and Xayah root, but with a lead, he's not going to be easy to shut down.
For sure.
It does look like
I think-
Dieter is going tier into AP, probably an Everfrost there, so makes sense.
Yep. I think that OnlyYuumis at this point have to play through YLag and King.
Yeah.
Because they're the biggest early game threats at this point, or late game threats at this point to shut down this Cassidon.
Yeah, and even with the favored matchup and not having any deaths, Luke RTG is about 40 CS down on 10 CS per minute, which is surprising to me.
Yeah, that is really rough.
I mean, he did get
Our
a lot
opponent's
of
hex flashing in, forcing YLag to ult out of the hook.
Big damage.
early
Yeah,
quick
that was a
heal there
lot
from
of
Jin.
damage. Nore going in on mid lane, gonna flash onto Luke RTG, and he's
The
just gonna
buffered
get
Q.
absolutely one shot.
Yeah, and Luke
Yeah,
RTG
Luke
dying
couldn't
with
react.
flash up. Couldn't react to the
Yeah.
void where Q flash.
Yeah, really unlucky for
Oh,
him.
Huge
our opponent
hook
hit
from
a
our
hook on the bot
opponents.
lane, forces a flash from YLag, and honestly, if Korean's W was just a little bit faster, that would have been a kill.
Yeah.
Ult's coming out of Dieter, not sure what that was for, but
Yeah,
it
our opponent's
happened,
being a real
and
menace on this Blitzcrank right now, though.
Once again,
Harold's
next
coming
on
down and doing
another scaling
first
champion.
tower.
First tower, 5 plates, up CS. Things are looking
He's up.
really rough.
He's up
King
nearly
coming in
2K
bot lane
gold.
for the dive. Our opponent gets a knockup, stalling out, but Korean is just dead.
Trade back
Our
into
opponent
YLag.
does somehow trade back onto YLag, which is not exactly what you want to see.
And King
Dexmax
dropped,
taking a short trade, but just
King
taking a
dropped
lot
the
more
aggro
damage
kind of
than
at
he
the wrong
dealt.
time there.
I do like that from King. His mid lane is just absolutely shut down at this point, so he has to make plays around the other sides of the map.
Yeah, and it goes back to what we were saying earlier about, King and YLag are going to be your win cons from here on out.
Yep,
Oh,
exactly.
Nizon opting for the full damage Ludens, just as much damage as physically possible, one shot everyone.
Yeah, and on top of the Ludens, he took a pretty greedy setup getting into this game with Electrocute and
Yeah.
Ignite.
Yeah. Electrocute, Ignite, and Presence of Mind, Tenacity in the back. So.
Yep, and he's going to be even harder to lock down with that Presence of Mind. We'll see if he goes for the Merc Shreds here, and then he's just going to be pretty much unCCable with that Tenacity rune.
I mean, based on what we've seen so far, considering he picked up the Ludens, I'm gonna bet he goes
Sorc Shoes.
Sorc Shoes, but
yeah, he's just opting for that full AP. He wants to carry the game.
yeah.
Standoff here at the Dragon. Big hook.
Big hook.
One-shotting Volks here before he even has a chance to
Puns.
flash. And yeah, I mean, this is why the Blitzcrank was banned in game 1.
Yep.
He's looking like Mad Life right now on this Blitzcrank. He's hitting every single hook.
Oh, trade under the tower from Dieter.
Dieter going for a pretty aggressive trade and gonna get a little bit punished as our opponent's getting run at by King. Forced
Hook
Korean
over? Yeah, yeah.
Oh, big hook into the Jin
Gwen
ultimate.
gets-
But King gets over the wall.
Gwen gets away.
Is gonna get rooted by Wylag, but there just isn't the damage to finish him off, and somehow no one dies there. But Dieter getting engaged on in the back line or back in top lane, gonna have to flash away as Nightstone roams top and picks up yet another kill.
4-1, almost 10 CS per minute. Like I'd say about 9 CS per minute at this point, and just an absolute menace right now. He's just so ahead of Luke right now, and he's just, I don't know how they're gonna stop him at this point. Once he scales up with more levels,
Thankfully,
just
he
gonna
gets
run.
to pick up a dark skill.
Oh yeah, he didn't pick up the Dark Seal, which is interesting because I thought he'd be a little more greedy, judging from how his build has went so far. But
Our
oh my God,
opponent's yet another Blitzcrank hook. Xayah ults, but it isn't gonna save him. Just prolongs his death for another second and a half.
Yeah,
This man's just unstoppable with the hooks.
yeah,
at this point, it's just a lack of respect. I mean, she has the Gale Force up, she has the ult up, and just no respect for the Blitzcrank.
Yeah, but he's just putting on a clinic right now. This is absolutely insane.
Oh.
Going a bit greedy there for a blind hook, doesn't quite get anything.
Yeah, he hit that blind hook. Honestly, wrap it up.
Nightstone's finished 2 items. Dexmax is behind Dieter, just doing insane damage with the Divine Thunder completed, but misses his E.
This is the hook shot.
Dieter gets a bit
Dieter
greedy
does
and
not
goes for a
take these
body
trades.
slam back in.
Yeah, Dieter does not want to take those long trades against the Camille.
I was imagining he had the ult there to try and kind of finish her under tower with a explosive cask and to knock her back with no E, but he just
Yeah, the explosive cast, but once that second cast of Precision Protocol chunked them, he decided it wasn't in his best interest. As Nore coming in with a dive, does have ult to disable the turret. Stun comes down onto Dieter. He has the explosive cast. Oh, he used it. I didn't even
yeah, he
see.
just used it to knock away Nore, didn't he?
King making a play in the bot lane, just running at Korea and doing a lot of damage with the ult. And it's good that OnlyYuumis is getting something off the back of that top lane dive.
Yep.
But I still just don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, they get the tower, but they trade Rich Herald and probably top tower, assuming Dexmax goes for it. Dexmax looks like he'll drop anyways, even though he cuts the wave. It's another kill going over to Nightstone. Just more and more gold on the Kassadin.
Yeah, and even if the bot lane of like Korean our opponents isn't like ahead of Wylag, these solo lanes are just absolutely like killing it right now.
And the thing is that it doesn't matter how behind Blitzcrank gets, he's always a menace. And similar for Jin, maybe his object damage kind of falls off, but his ult and his W are still great setup tools, and his E is extremely vital vision for bushes that it doesn't matter how far behind you are, you can always contribute. So.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Nightstone does end up opting for the Merc Treads. I think it's a pretty smart decision.
Yeah, I think he gets big value out of it.
Yeah.
Unlucky.
Especially Dragus is building Everfrost as well, so it's going to lower the duration of that, which is one of the most guaranteed CCs they can land on.
Yeah. And he just goes across the map, collecting CS from every lane, takes both blue buffs. I don't know why he needed a second one. Does it double his demon region or something?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Just gonna take
it actually makes it so he can overheal his mana.
Yeah,
Something.
doubles the size of the mana bar. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, so looking to set up for this Drake, I wonder if OnlyYuumis is
Twilight
gonna.
goes in with the Gale Force in the mid lane,
Oh,
gets the
Wildlife
root
playing
off,
aggressive.
going for this kill, finishes him off, and uses the Featherstorm to save
Oh
himself.
my goodness,
King
Wildlife.
getting engaged on by Nightstone, and actually gets a lot of lifesteal off to somehow survive, and Nightstone forced to use both sums. Dragon coming up, and
Yeah, Dexmax with a
only
really
Yuumis
late
has a big
TP. I don't
advantage
know
here.
if it does anything. I think they just get the dragon. I guess they push down mid here.
Yeah, big
Yeah,
play from Wildlife.
the Herald is put mid lane, and
Maybe they
now
play for
Str8th
the hook.
wants
Maybe they
to
play for the
stall.
blitzhook.
Big flash E coming out of Dieter, but messes up his ult. Doesn't really get any follow up as Dexmax just going crazy in the backline here.
Oh my
Both
god.
Hextech ultimatum onto Ylag with no Featherstorm, and somehow get a 5-for-0 play on the back of that mid fight.
Yeah, it's actually just a straight up solo lane gap. Dexmax dives 4 people, takes out 2 by himself, and Nightsun comes in with the cleanup at the end.
Yeah, the solo lanes are just so strong at this point. Even Nori is really strong. Like, he's 3-0 on this Oliver right now, but Ylag is trying to salvage his team by making these plays mid lane, but it's just not working out for his team right now. The solo lane gap is just way too big.
Yeah, he got the kill on the mid lane, or on Korean on his own, but the amount of resources he used made it so hard to continue the fight. Like, I mean, it's a flashy play, and you get the gold and one member down, but is killing Korean really worth not having your main useful champion not have any tools to survive?
Yeah, maybe he thought that with the 4v5 they can just take the fight, but it looks like the solo lane gap is just making up for that 5 for just playing out a 4v5.
Yeah. I mean, Camille is just one of those champions. When she gets ahead, can just decimate a whole team. Same thing with Gasoline.
Yep.
So really, really tough to come back from this one. I'd like to see them peel a little bit better for the with the Gwen sitting on top of whoever Camille decides to dive, and then forcing that respect. But
yeah, but I'm really not sure how they're gonna peel. I mean, there is a Gragas, but I'm not sure if Karma can do anything, if Victor can really do anything with except for his gravity field.
yeah,
And everyone
actually,
just opts for this Merchants as well, so it's gonna be really hard to lock them down.
I actually really like the Jin pick in this case too, or not Jin pick, Blitz pick,
Hey,
because
press backspace.
yeah, that's. I really like the Blitz pick here because OnlyYuumis team wants to kind of clump together to try and kind of zone away the Volibear, the Kassadin, and the Camille from being able to do much, and then it's really just easy pickings for Blitz at that point. That's the art of Blitz picking. You just always got to make the hooks easier for yourself.
Our opponent has a nice position mid lane, might be going for a hook or just a flank. As Ylag is going dangerously aggressive, but our opponent decides
GG is
not
just too
to
far up.
trade.
I'd like to get. He doesn't get dove there. That's.
Our opponent does go engage onto Ylag, hits a hook onto Volk. Volk somehow lives barely, and our opponent gets killed. The King starting to run him down. Dexmax finishing off Volk in the backline. Ylag getting engaged on by Nightstone. Nightstone is going to finish him off and then clean up the fight for 4-for-1, looks like, after Dieter falls.
So
Dexmax going for more, lands the slow, but isn't going to be able to follow it up with any auto attack. And
yeah,
I don't
OnlyYuumis
see
is going really deep to try and take a 4v3, and they just don't respect the follow up from Dexmax and from Nightstone. But off the back of that,
I don't see how OnlyYuumis can win from here.
No, I don't think this game is salvageable at this point.
I mean, I can imagine a world where they just hard turtle and kind of just.
No, but they don't even outscale them.
They don't even outscale, which is the problem. Yeah, so.
Yeah, once Str8th gets this Baron, they're gonna look to close out this game.
Yeah.
Opponents knew from the mental warfare he enacted level 1, the flash hook miss, that he was just in their heads and told them to FF.
Yeah. Just moving around the map.
Desperation Baron actually coming out from OnlyYuumis. I mean, Nightstone and Korean are pretty far. The Baron's a bit below half health already, but Nightstone is just about here with his ult stacked up. Our opponent's going to be looking for a hook, but doesn't go for it yet. Baron goes the way of OnlyYuumis, but a big chunk of damage onto Dieter finishes him off. Str8th going to cut off their escape, and
they have to back
they're
the
trapped.
supers on the base.
They're
They have to fight
here.
this.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's
no.
just going to be a complete wipe.
Yeah, and Camille should just TP mid at this
Camille
point.
should just TP mid, yeah.
And this game's over.
Game's over.
Yeah, GG's are called.
Oh, yeah. This
The
series...
question pinging RL Bones as he runs through turrets.
Is he gonna die?
No.
Oh, no.
He's
Okay.
good.
No, he barely lives.
Very good. But yeah, this, honestly, Nightstone putting on it.
Dieter coming up with
show.
Flash. RL Bones at 1 HP. You know, maybe he does something here.
Yeah, he's dead.
As actually, OnlyYuumis are respawning here, and Str8th is pretty low.
If they run in one by one like this, it's still really
Yeah, they're
difficult.
running in one by one, but it looks like Korean's just standing still.
But yeah, Str8th is maybe a bit overconfident. Isn't able to end, but Nightson and Noray do survive. Xayah gets an 850 gold bounty from Camille, and Gwen gets a total 600 gold kill from Jin.
Yeah, maybe they just miscalculated how quickly they could end there. I thought that if Camille just TP'd mid, they could just end through there, but looks like no, and they give up a bunch of shutdowns.
Maybe a dragon too.
It is a cloud drag though, so it doesn't really add to their stats besides like move speed.
The 850 gold on Xayah could go a very long way though. Wylag has shown that like he has the mechanics to make a crazy team fight happen.
Mm-hmm. And then they picked up that Baron as well, and now they got the objective bounty on the dragon. So gold lead cut up a little bit smaller, but it's still 6.5k.
It's still really hard for theirs to do much because their kind of front line is just so weak. I mean, it would require basically a miracle for Wylag to be able to output that much damage.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much Victor will be able to do either.
Yeah, Victor is really on welfare this game. 100 CS down, 0.
He's not having a good time. He doesn't even opt for these short shoes, which I think he should absolutely opt for short shoes, especially if he's this behind. But not sure.
Or at least maybe Mercury treads just for a bit of MR and to survive.
Yeah, but I think if he gets hit by something, he's just dead.
At this point, yeah, I think if he gets hit by something, he's dead. So you just opt for more damage, whatever can give him that kind of edge.
Yeah, this game is not looking good.
Yeah, and 5 members of OnlyYuumis are in the bot lane trying to do something as Dexmax is just picking up towers in the top lane. Dieter a bit far up, not going to get engaged on. Nightstone just going up to top lane, trying to...
No, expect
No, just going to the top tower, looks like. OnlyYuumis are kind of lost, not sure where to respond. Wylag forced the ult because of our opponent's hook.
That is going to be really bad for when they take a fight later to stop them from taking the Nexus, because their main man Wylag is not going to be able to have that ulti.
Korean pushing the wave. Str8th looking to take it slow. Just finish off all 3 inhibs, then push with the double super minion waves, looks like.
Yeah, but OnlyYuumis really on their back foot here.
Wylag also opting for the LDR.
Goes for it, misses. King engaging, popping in his ult, but isn't going to be able to pick up any kills off of it. Korean, I think, has Legend Bloodline is going to be able to lifesteal up if he can hit some minions.
OnlyYuumi's down 2 crucial cooldowns right now.
Yeah. No Xayah ult, no Gwen ult.
If the hook lands, it could be just game right there.
Mid inhib is actually respawning, and it looks like Str8th is going for it. Big Shirelia is into an engage for OnlyYuumis. Dieter going down very fast though. Dexmax and Noray very low. Dexmax going back in, gonna get finished off. King going in with the snip, but does get finished off. Wylag gets deleted while still having both summoners up, and it's just game over.
That's game.
Yeah, this, honestly, from the early game, when I saw this Kassadin get like 10 CS leads by like 5-6 minutes, I knew that this game was going to be a rough one for OnlyYuumis, and surely enough, this Kassadin got to a point where he could just carry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this, and even if he didn't carry, our opponents was hitting hook after hook.
Yeah. Oh, this is bugged, but 21 assists for Blitzcrank.
Overall, just a really good performance. Nori as well, really good early ganks, making sure that the team sticks together, kind of like the glue of his team.
Yeah, just an absolute rock in the jungle. Coming out of that game deathless, actually.
Yep.
Yeah,
and I think
so,
that.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's good.
Yeah, I think that. Oh yeah, stop the timer. All right, so with that, any final remarks? We can give our MVP maybe.
Yeah, let's do MVP.
Yeah, for me, it's I think it's just Nightstone.
I think it's just Nightstone. That's a unanimous decision.
I'm gonna go with Nightstone as well on that one. I think it's unanimous.
Yeah, he's been 2 absolutely stellar performances on the scaling champs.
There's an argument that our opponents might have been, equally or maybe even slightly more impactful in that second game, but on top of the first game performance from Nightstone, there's no shot anyone else is getting the MVP.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, absolutely crazy. I don't want to say mid gap, but mid gap. He wasn't able to get punished on these early game champs at all. Even when he got ganked, he somehow came out on top with 20 CS leads, 30 CS leads, and he was just all over the map, just being an absolute menace to OnlyYuumis. So he's our MVP. Do we interview him? Can someone drag him in? He's not even here.
They left. It's all right.
All right, it's all good.
All right, so that'll be it for today. The next match will be actually my team, so it'll be.
He said he can join lobby.
Okay,
right,
we can
we'll
do
join the
that.
lobby.
Yeah.
What up?
Yo, what's up, guys?
All right, so first question. We'll just each ask one question. Okay, so how did you think? What did you think about OnlyYuumis and their team as a whole?
I think they have a solid game plan where they play around bot, but I think we did well today to just abuse top lane, especially in that second game where kind of just dove top a lot and Gragas got really screwed. So, I mean, Zaya was doing a lot of damage, so it almost worked out for them, but not this time.
Yep.
My question would just be: Were you expecting to draft the way you drafted before the game, or did it just happen to be that way as you played out the draft?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect Luke RTG to pick the champions he did today, so I wasn't expecting to play the Nugget Spanker and Cassidin, but it worked out, so that was nice.
Yeah.
Yo, speaking of the Nugget Spanker, in that first game, you guys saw the Baron at the Baron knockups of Wukong about to go on.
Yeah.
Actually, just lucker dogged off the Baron because of that.
Heater?
Yeah, my question is, last week your game against T1 looked a lot, less organized, a little bit sloppier. What changed between last week and this week that you guys just looked so clean, so dominant? Or do you think it was just the team you were playing against?
I think last week it was just really unfortunate. I know myself, I had a lot of individual mistakes, especially in that third game and the first game as well. And yeah, we just I feel like we weren't as ready to face T1 then, but next time we'll be ready to face them for sure.
Basically, you would say that it wasn't a representative performance, and you think you're the best team in the tournament.
We're slow walking to first place, so.
All right.
Possibly.
One last question. So what are you looking forward to in the losers final game against Pooby?
I think it'll be a really fun match when we get to you guys. So I'll just see you then.
Wait, do you guys have one more game?
Yeah, it's against me.
Yeah, we do against.
I
don't know.
I'm so sorry. I didn't. No. That wasn't disrespect. I thought this was the final game. My bad.
No, it's good.
All right. So between you guys, who's winning? What do you look forward to against each other?
I kind of want to just play against Max. I'm scared of Nathan though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I know
Nathan,
he's a way better laner than me. So
I, I've been talking with Nathan a lot, Allura X, and he literally is just like, yeah, I shit on that guy every time. It's not even close.
he actually does though. He actually does.
Alright.
It's
All
doomed
right.
for me.
That's
Alright.
something to look. Next matches to look forward to. And with that, I think we're done.
Right.
And
Thank you very
Nathan, I
much
can't
for the
believe you'd say
games.
something like that.
Yo, my bad. honestly, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alright, thank you for the
I thought you were
games,
smart.
and we'll catch you on the next game, which will be Team Animal Planet versus Str8th. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yep.
thank you
Thanks
all.
for watching,
Thanks for
everybody.
watching.
Continue watching DMV.
Have a nice
Donate if
evening.
you haven't. I don't know if the donation is still up, but donate if you haven't. Follow the channel if you haven't already. And with that, have a nice day.